All right, 7:01, I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting for January 14th to order. First order of business is pecuniary interest, and I don't believe there's anything. Don't believe we have any in camera today.
We can update rewater, your worship. We will request it.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, fine. I don't see anything in there. So then, any other additions or changes to the agenda?
Move to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'm sorry?
No, I move to adopt the agenda as presented. No one seems to be changing anything, so.
Carry. Thought I could hear better over here. All right, first order of business, the business license, the bylaw 2025-02, first draft. And say, Dawn, if you would, and this is, we won't be voting on this, so it's more just for information, but go ahead.
Thank you, your worship. So basically, through our recent fees and services bylaw 2408, and we made minor changes to classification of business license, and then we included a new principal contractor with additional rates and necessary guidelines. And it necessitated us to update this business license bylaw. So the changes that we're proposing for council to take a look at over the next couple of weeks, basically updating Municipal Government Act sections to be more specific and detailed. We're going to add additional comprehensive definitions and ensuring definitions match between both the fees and services bylaw 2408 and this bylaw. So we're kind of auditing both bylaws to make sure they match. We're cleaning up the layout of the bylaw, expanding our previous wording guidelines, sections that required additional information. We're ensuring that in the event of an appeal, the process is simple, laid out clearly, and matches our meeting procedures bylaws that stand. So as you can see, we're kind of looking around to all the bylaws and seeing how they all mesh together and making sure that they're all speaking together. We're expanding the enforcement section that better fits a town that has a community peace officer. So that's just normal because we do have a community peace officer as opposed to bylaw. We've added the principal contractor and listed sub-trade guidelines, kind of like we talked with the business license bylaw, and of course, we want to make sure that if there's a home building company that comes in, all the trades now are listed with that particular contractor, no matter what they're doing. So we added a principal contractor, and we ensured that Schedule A fines for offense is properly reflected in the body of the bylaws. In other words, that's a charging section. We didn't have one in here before, but for the potentiality of the prime contractor. We've removed the schedule that included the business license action template. It was added previously, but we felt it needed to be updated with any fees and services bylaw update that addresses business, which occurs more than updates of this particular bylaw. So we found it's not always normal practice to include the application as a schedule. So we're recommending that council thoroughly review the proposed bylaw. We certainly welcome your comments, provide comments to administration, and let us know if you don't understand some of the definitions or if you want some more stuff added or however you see fit. And I'll stand down, your worship.
Okay, Corey?
Just one thing right at the get-go, I haven't gone through it thoroughly, but for 11.1, it's must obtain a license after receiving the approved permits required. Why would that not be before, right? If you're required to have a business license, if you intend to carry out work, but the sheer act of submitting an application for a permit is clear evidence of intending to do work. You should really technically need a business license before submitting an application.
Just 2 seconds, Councilor Corey. Where are you actually looking? I'm in
11.
The appeal?
Oh, under
page 23.
Part, what are we, that's part.
Sorry, 23. Hang on. My fault.
6 of 10 here is what it's saying on this one.
23, page 23. Oh, here we go. I was on the wrong bylaw. 11.1. 2 seconds here.
Yeah, it's under the contractor part.
You're at 11.1, Councilor Corey.
6 of 10, yeah, right there. If you up down, in there, right down.
Yeah,
Sorry, no, I was just looking between, I messed up the.
You have the numbering.
I'm like, that's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
11. Yeah, it's good to catch that now. Sometimes when I do a new one, it resets.
I was on the other 11.1.
I know, that's why I'm like,
Oh,
makes no
I see.
sense.
Okay, so that's on page,
Yeah.
Microsoft Word.
page 6, sorry, okay.
Page 6.
Yeah, okay, that's a good thing for me to say.
Page 6, stand by. Okay, 11. I still have no idea where you're at. I must
Part
be brain
four.
dead tonight.
Part
Part 4. Oh, okay.
It's a good thing for me to catch now.
Stephen deal with. Maintain a record of, conduct investigation, conduct inspection. Okay, Councillor Corey, which one are
It
you?
was on the screen, right there.
Contractor 11.
Yeah.
So he's saying that the contractor should have applied for the
Prior
License,
prior
to
to submitting
submitting
an application for a permit, that application for a permit is in fact
Mhm.
indication that they're trying to undertake work.
I get it.
The rest of the bylaw says, if you're intending to conduct, commercial activity, you need a license.
Yeah.
This is effectively contradicting it.
Go ahead.
I was right originally, Donna, page 23, and then it's also page 6 of 10 and 11, and that's probably why you can't find it. You go back to 23, you'll see it there.
Oh, yeah, it's different pages.
Sorry.
The whole
It's
package.
been a long day.
There's two 11.1s on that page. So,
11 point, okay. So
right at the bottom, part 4, contractor.
There we go. I was up in the wrong one. Okay. Sorry, Council, my apologies. Councillor, the treasurer. Yeah, they have to have a license before they can get the permit.
Yeah, this is saying after, so just like I said, it kind of contradicts other stuff.
Yeah, no, we can make that change. Good catch. Thank you for finding that out. Okay, yeah. Business license first, permit second. Awesome, great catch, thank you.
Anybody have any other comments on there? So,
I'm sure a lot of others, I haven't looked through it all very thoroughly at this point.
We have no problem with you sending us 5 emails on a particular bylaw, or saying, I'm just thinking about this, thinking about that, so all totally
Well, I
fine.
just send one long-winded, never-ending email.
I would expect nothing less. Councillor Corey.
Ah.
People can catch them and double them.
Yeah, 100%.
Sometimes
No, that's good. We're coming into the 21st century here with these bylaws and so forth.
okay.
Firm them up.
Other comments? Can I get a motion to accept the first draft for information?
I'll move the first draft
Thank you. In favor?
Yeah, for information, not for reading.
for information.
Okay, 5.2, Leduc County West Interagency Information Meetings. I find that very interesting. Almost looks like a 3920. Doesn't it?
Well,
They used to have these long ago, I think.
yeah. It's, your worship, it's more about, we're meeting, they want us all to meet with their service providers, professionals, and see what's going on in the rural areas. And what the CAO suggested to Leduc County was to have an evening interagency where the council can come, where you don't have a whole ton of people, where council can come and talk to these agencies, have a council night with everyone on the 3920 line, and Leduc County's amenable to that, so that it's, all the councils are together.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's just that, and so are they're looking just for one individual, or for the first one, everybody as a council, the whole council, or?
They haven't specified, your
Yeah,
worship.
that's right. Yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah.
That's really all I know about it. I haven't been to the first meeting yet. It'll be
Yeah,
in
February 12th is what they're saying, tentatively.
Yeah. And they'll probably set a date for council, but I think that was coming. I'm definitely gonna go to the first one to see what it's all about. And these interagency meetings are done in, large municipalities where you get all the helping agencies together and all the justice agencies together, and you case conference, and you see what's going on, you trade stuff back and forth. And, interagency meetings don't usually happen in the rural areas, but they used to a long time ago. Now they went out of vogue, I guess. And now they're starting to come back, and we have a huge county here that I'm not sure we exactly know who's doing what with who, kind of thing. So it'll be good to get that intel, and then to hear from each muni and each council what's happening and what your thoughts are and what your observations are. So that's kind of what Leduc County wants to propose. So I was talking to Sarah yesterday. She was here chatting with Michaela, and they'll let us know when the council evenings will give lots of time. And I'm thinking it's going to be the May one, to give you lots of time, because they recognize people are working and so on and so forth. So so that's you'll get your regional invite details to come. So I know nothing more than that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, well, like I say, if I remember, like, it was before my time, but I used to hear about a concept, why don't we have this anymore?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It seemed like, I think the big problem is people stopped doing it because the county became kind of, authoritarian, trying to micromanage the activities of different, functions and activities and events of the different groups within some of the municipalities, so.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think we should probably watch out for that, because I feel like that could easily go that way again and be the same problem as why it stopped in the first place.
Well, I think it's much better this way instead of the rumor mill,
Sure, as long as it's an information gathering function as opposed to a top-down telling everyone what they should or shouldn't be doing function.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree, because they can become
So
dictatorial.
it sounds like that's very much what happened way back when everyone stopped doing it.
Yeah, I can remember sitting in interagency meetings in City of Leduc too, and it depended on the agency, and they become, this is what we want to talk about, it's all about us. Doesn't work very well,
Yeah.
because the smallest minute issue is just as important as a large issue that you can't solve in one meeting or less, right? So, yeah.
Okay, so we'll just, bring it back for the 28th to, resolution on it?
I think your worship,
Or
I
give a
would,
direction right now?
no, I would suggest it's just information, because you all get an invite anyway,
Okay.
so it's just information for you.
Okay.
Yeah, move to accept it as information.
Victoria, all in favor? That is carried. All right, so we will get into the council reports. So, I'll start for the first one there. So, in December, we had a water meeting on the 6th there with the legal, and, we're gonna talk about that in camera a little bit. We had our cow on the 10th, we had our regular meeting a week later on the 17th. And then on the 18th, I went with Donna and Andrew, and we went to Flow Point in Morinville just to see how our bulk station was doing, and it was sitting there ready to roll. So they indicated they wanted to get it out of there, so we made arrangements, and I think it was on the Monday we got it here, and it's sitting here, and it's ready to be put in. We did some checking, we talked to them at the time about, the possibility of putting it in now instead of waiting till spring, and they were all against it. They said, you'd be just asking for all kinds of problems. And they also referred us to CB Max, to a contractor that would do that. And I believe that they were the same opinion, that you're gonna open a can of worms there, and then for the little revenue you're gonna get for a couple months, it just isn't worth it. And these problems could show up, and as much to what you said, Corey, earlier.
What's gonna happen, it's for sure.
It's the middle of January.
So anyhow, it looks good, looks really good. And we also got a quote for another arm on it there, and
20,000 for the second one, which is good. Originally was 70.
so.
But are we, I can't remember how are we doing that now still?
With the new
Like,
grant.
we're doing it this, as part of the installation instead of later on now?
Yep. Yeah, so the station's all wired for the second arm and everyone.
But we were gonna add it as a
Yeah.
secondary sort of project after original, but not anymore.
No, it's Cindy figures we have grant money to be able to pay the 20 now that it's dropped in price.
Well, it's easier and better and more convenient to just do it all at once.
100%, yeah. The station right now is completely built to accept that second arm, no matter when we want to put it on, so.
Well, but shutting things down and stuff,
Yeah.
you always run into weird, like, it's easy to just do it before and commission it all at the same time, I think.
1,000%, I agree totally.
So as soon as the frost is out of the ground, it'll be going in. So that's all I have. Anybody have any questions about that at all? Okay, Councilor Gilbert.
Oh, well, it was Christmas, it was crazy, because it always is, but, as far as actual town stuff, but, there was, at the beginning of the month, on the 2nd, there was the YRL meeting. We were supposed to have that water meeting, but then it got changed and moved to the Friday there, which I was busy, I didn't get to attend there, because I was at that, Alberta Municipal Governance Committee, which was, it was interesting. We talked a lot about the resolution process and made recommendations for that, because obviously that wasn't good. Obviously, we
What
were
happened
among the
here?
many that were not impressed, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're gonna change the resolution process a little bit and try to find a balance between being as accepting of as many resolutions as people want to submit, but trying to make sure that there's actually time allotted for it if things run long. And then if things don't run long, everything's quick and there isn't debate, then what do you do with the extra time? So that was the other concern. So we will see how that works out, but it is being at least, worked on. We had our town meeting, then on the 12th, there was the Cloverleaf Christmas dinner with the residents, so we'll into that. Okay, let's see where we at here. On the 17th, there's council there, and then on the 19th, there was Plainview, the Christmas there. So same thing. It's nice to
Hanging out with all the
and go hang out with them. Well, yeah. Just gotta sit with some people from Thorsby for dinner.
I like
so
that, I
it's
enjoy
nice.
that, yeah.
Some of the former residents from here who are there now. So I was trying to get to the Lions Christmas, but they're light up. But that was the same night the Grinch was racing Santa, and that precedence apparently. That was a very very important event yet again. So, and then we're into January, so that's it.
All right. Questions, anybody? No? Okay, Councilor Miller's not here, so Councilor Musson.
My December was fairly quiet. I attended all the regular scheduled meetings, and I helped the Lions to set up for their winter wonderland and work on a couple of the evenings to make their event happen, and it was very successful, I think, and hopefully lots of people attended from the community and
Sounds like they had really good
enjoyed
numbers,
it. Yeah.
They're keeping track. I can't remember the actual number, but I remember it being pretty good.
Yeah, it was really slow on the Friday night, but the Saturday night saw almost 300 people.
Awesome.
I would say more than 300, honestly, because I don't think, because for the times that Mercedes wasn't at the front, there were still people pouring in. So I would say she probably missed another 50 or
And I didn't hear how it went into New Year's. I know they carried it on a bit longer, but I didn't hear any numbers or how it went.
It was cold, wasn't it?
The Friday night was really cold, and Saturday night was,
Saturday it turned, it was
Quite
pretty
nice.
warm Saturday.
yeah, so no, I'm really glad that the Lions pulled through with that, and it was a really nice event. That's all I have to offer for December.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Councilor Rash.
So for me, December was pretty quiet. We were away for a little bit at the beginning of the December, and then we had our regular meetings. And really, that was it. Just, emails and resident stuff. But other than that, no meetings. Because FCSS doesn't have a board anymore, so I don't do that.
Yeah.
And library is closed for December, so it's pretty quiet.
Not the whole,
Of December?
the library closed.
I meant we
The board,
don't
yeah.
have
Board.
meeting, that's what I meant, yeah. No, they didn't close, just those regular days during the Christmas and New Year's. No, we just don't have meeting in December is all. Yeah, so that was December.
All right, thank you. Questions, anybody? A motion to accept the council reports for information?
Cheers, Shelley.
Kelly, thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, we'll get into the CAO reports. Donna?
Mine's a little windy, your worship, and council, but, I wanted to take the opportunity to say what happened in December and then to do a year recap, basically for the residents, right? And so that they could see all the accomplishments. So basically, the CFO and I met with Leduc County to go over their budget response times, discussions of false alarms and costing of responding to those. They sent us the list of all the false alarms. So we'll be creating a false alarm bylaw because it costs us an operation money to them every time there's a false alarm. And some are what we call frequent emitters. So their alarms may not work, or they don't have them set right, or they're cooking bacon all the time and off it goes, kind of thing. And that can be considered a false alarm if it happens too often. So we'll create the false alarm bylaw for your consideration, and the Leduc County Fire is asked to have a look at it, and that's totally fine. The regional CAOs met for lunch in Breton and at the golf course there, great lunch. We caught up on regional issues and considering inviting a new CAO from Devon to join our meetings. I say I got a typo. Our meetings, I think he's part of the region, and it doesn't mean he has any say, but I think it's nice to be invited. Mayor Hostin and myself delivered Christmas cheer to the RCMP and the fire responders before Christmas to thank the that go, by the way?
Very quiet. They only had the new, commanding sergeant there, and she's, I thought she'd be, she looks like she's just temporary. They don't know what to do with her yet, is what I gathered out of the whole thing.
Yeah, she and I had a long talk. She came to my office for about 45 minutes a while
Yeah.
ago. And I said, she likes it here actually, because she said she can wind down and actually do enforcement and be out with the guys. And she's not got all these crazy files, because she's looking after Wetaskiwin too, I think.
Right.
And she's got 4 years left. She said she kind of likes to wind down, because she doesn't like sitting in an office. And she figures that this is a perfect opportunity to just be out with the folks and, you know, not a heavy go like Wetaskiwin. So I said, well, if there's anything we can do to keep you here, if we have to write K Division or whatever, I said, I think I can ask council if we can send something your way. But she trains cutting horses. She's a farm girl, and so we had lots of time to chat. So she'll do well here, because Staff Moore's not coming back. We're pretty confident of that. St. Albert have kidnapped him for life. So yeah, she's kind of up in the air about it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered, so.
Yeah. So the fire hall was great. We just beat the 2 county reeves that were there, so we got to visit more, and then they brought their little gifts for the fire department. We brought lots of chocolate. It was just that time of year. So
Did you have any left over that you kept around here? Or?
No, I was hoping you'd have brought me chocolate. Mayor Hostin, of course, I won't reiterate. We went to Morganville. It was one of the worst nasty snow and road days, but anyway, we finalized everything. And then, of course, myself and Jeff distributed cookies. This is our tradition at the Lions Winter Wonderland on the 21st of December. It was awesome. We had tongs. We parked my truck. At the back, we used it as a cookie dispenser, and kids were going crazy. And there's people here from St. Albert. They come every year. Yeah. A couple from Pinoka, and just because we were asking at the gate, where are you from, right? And they really enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun. The fireworks went over really well. So it was a great event. So basically, year-end highlights. I'll just go over these quickly. But of course, as we know, the Center Boulevard is cleared out, the trees cleared out, and the loam is there and ready to hydroseed in the spring. There'll be no plantings there other than grass, and of course, we'll put our flower planters there. We can't take any more risks with the Fortis line 3 feet under. We can't. Old Water Treatment Plant decommission. If you haven't been down there to look, it's a nice flat spot there, which is good. The contractor paid us $85 per ton in scrap, and I think, I don't have the invoice in front of me. I don't want to say definitively. Over $2,000, I think, in scrap. Sewage lift station pumps, as you know, we're here. I mean, some of this is going to be repetitive because you know it, but we have to wait till the weather warms up, and we have to wait till the middle of the night and advertise it, so when people get out in the middle of the night, they don't phone. Our last water main break on the weekend, folks were phoning Andrew at 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I have no water. What are you guys doing? Oh, poor Andrew. Poor Andrew.
What are they doing?
They didn't get my number. I had it.
They're doing laundry.
Yeah, or there's little water efficiencies that you have to do in the middle of the night as you get older.
So right.
River intake pumps, this is an update. They're being modified to fit what we need over the wellhead, or over the, which is normal. And we'll install those because we have to wait till the wet well is fixed, and we have to wait till the river goes down and all that good stuff, but that'll be fixed this year. Raw water intake pump is ready to install, but we're gonna wait till spring or till it dries up around there, but it is fully ready to go. Water bills properties are being registered for tax sale through the tax company in Edmonton. The tax company, this is a little ahead of the game here now, but since I wrote this, but letters have been sent to the property owners. They have 30 days to pay off all outstanding taxes in full. Otherwise, their property goes up for auction. We'll be discussing that with the tax company because council may wish to put reserve bids on some of the properties, and that's a closed session conversation, whether you want to or not. Water bills that have been outstanding for a very long time are steadily being cleaned up and paid, so that's really good. We're really don't have too many of those anymore. Water meters we're still installing. Of course, as you know, the Arctic Spa has been upgraded, and we're heading, you know, into a Class D estimate for a large grant being applied for in the spring, and I don't want to take away Kelly's thunder. The new concession caters at Gated Arctic Spas Complex, and I haven't heard any complaints. I mean, people are liking it. The complex is completely booked with hockey, and programming has increased steadily in 2024. That's huge for a recreation complex. In fact, when Scott Builders come out to do their estimate of the Class D estimate, they phoned me and said they had no idea what was in that rec complex. Because a lot of rec complexes in rural settings are an arena, in a little canteen, and that's it. They walked in and went, "Are you kidding me? This is awesome." So they were really happy with it, and it was busy in there that day, so it was good. The tenders are already in for the new bulk water station installation. We haven't opened them yet, but we will with our engineers, we'll come out and do a tender opening, and then we'll award for construction in the spring. The 5-year road maintenance plan has been developed, with the first stage being the first 2 blocks of 53rd Avenue, and I'll put something in the paper and so forth. I'll start offloading some of our budget highlights as we go. I don't want to do it all at once, and certainly anybody can take these highlights too and print them off or whatever. Kevin, I'll give you a copy, and give you a copy if you like to later. So let's see. Where was I? So we've updated many of the bylaws, as you know. Document destruction is completed. Shredders are coming tomorrow for the last bit of it. Website is more active, and with the water main breaks and that, I use the Thorsby Facebook for updates and information to the population. That seems to be going over fairly well. Of course, you know, we brought the hydrovac unit. It's already paid for itself a time and a half over already. The fiber optic is now at the South Reservoir. The water treatment plant now in the South Reservoir can talk. There's never been internet over there, so we couldn't chat back and forth with each other. And now I said to Dave, we're going to have to name the South Reservoir, because we've named the water treatment plant Delilah. Every time Dave gets a phone call, it's Delilah's calling. So now the South Reservoir is going to call. So maybe that's Fred. I don't know. We've done quite a bit of resident engagement over the month of December, either in the house or in the community. Folks stopping in, folks phoning. A lot of times, if people are stopping to at the front counter talk longer. They're hanging out, I guess, for lack of a better word, which is good. We're assisting with the Veterans Project, and we're waiting news on a donation request for land. I have a meeting with the Legion tomorrow to update them, and the donation request has indicated that when the Legion is ready to ask, they are to come to the donator to ask for that, which is lovely. We are going to got an appointment with the town of Pinoca towards the end of the month to look at their model to see how they solidify prime constant contractors for certain projects within their muni. Something like we use CB Max for, right? So you have that consistency. It is legal, it can be done, and I don't have how they do it, but there's certain contractors that it's good to use, kind of like LPH and the rec center, Kelly's prime contractor, and we definitely need people fixing our water main breaks that have the certification. That way we're comfortable that it's fixed. So I'll give you more information as that comes. All our financial reporting to the government was on time this year. All issues outstanding for years that were on the audit documents have been rectified. There's nothing there. And these issues were outstanding for almost 15 years. So those are all gone. Payroll, billing, tax certificates, and every financial now has systems and processes, and it's very streamlined. Valve was fixed this summer at the lagoon successfully, and of course we'll fix it at the intake now. New liaison capabilities with Black Oak School Division because of the water main break, so I'll go see the superintendent here in a little bit. And have a chat with him just to meet face to face. In fact, I might even take him a bottle of water. So that's the year's updates in no particular order.
Great.
Just a couple quick things. The first thing was the options. Yeah, as far as I knew, do we not have to have a reserve essentially for what the market value, the assessed value is on the property?
You can.
Hold that in reserve.
You can hold it in reserve to get the taxes or the money back from the utilities, or
no, like once we've auctioned it, do we not have to have a reserve for whatever the assessment was, and then hold that amount in reserve?
We do. So let's say you're on one property, we're going to recommend that you reserve the property just for what's owed.
Okay.
On others, there may be an assessed value that you want to reserve it for. So let's say property you want to reserve it for $12,000. Let's say, easy figuring. It sells for $20,000. that extra money over 12,000 has to go into a trust account, basically, and it has to be held, for 10 years, and we have to notify the owner of the property that they have 10 years to ask for the money back.
See, but in why, like, wasn't that, like, you're implying that is for the over, what is owed essentially now? I thought it was for the full assessed, like, or the full value, so to speak, like the appraised value of the property has to be held for 10 years.
No, it's only what, we get our money out of it, and let's say it's more than what we want.
House auction for 80 grand. Do we not have to hold 80 grand in reserve?
No. If that's what's owing, no. If what's owing is, let's say, 50, we get our 50, the rest has to be held in reserve.
Yes. So yeah, so do we not, I don't know, as far as I knew, we had to do a reserve, or like, sorry, not a reserve,
It has to be held in trust.
not a reserve, but we have to have what do you call it, like a reserve bid for the properties no matter what, do we not? You're throwing me a real curveball here, that when you guys said we have to discuss whether we want to, I thought we had.
Yes, sorry, Donna, I do believe we do, and we'll probably set that at the end of January. There's only one property going up for sale right now.
Okay. Yeah. So let me look. Tax arrears. Reserve bid. Yeah, you're right. Council must set reserve bid and conditions of sale.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's, like I said, there's gonna be one property where we'll recommend a reserve bid, and you'll understand why.
Okay.
It's up to you if you accept it in close.
Yeah, we have to set something no matter what, yeah.
Yeah. This tax company is saving us a lot of time. And
It's a very complicated process, yeah.
It's huge. It would take Cheryl and Cindy hours to do all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and they know exactly how to do it. They know when to send the letters out. They know what to say in the letters, all that kind of good stuff. It is terrific. So yes, sorry, I wasn't,
Sorry,
my brain was.
Like I said, I was just making sure I understood, didn't want to, Anyway, and then as far as the South Reservoir, I know there was always kind of a problem where it doesn't actually get adequate flow through and stuff with them communicating now. So you able to like isolate off like the reservoir plants and like draw off more of that now?
That I can't answer, I'm not sure, but
That'd be helpful for
I will get back to you.
general water quality.
Yeah, I'll get back to you with Dave. I'll send it to you in an email. I don't know.
Okay.
Quite honestly.
Yeah, that was like one of the myriad kind of variables with water quality before, that it just doesn't get a lot of flow, and then when it actually does, for whatever reason, then it's a kind of older, kind of more stagnant water, so I don't know.
I will find out. That's a great question, thank you. Okay, I have it logged, sir.
Any other questions for Donna, City Park? No? You wanna do the, police officer report, Don?
Again, your worship, basically this is year end, December plus year end, and, if you look on page 35 of 40, you can just flip ahead a little bit, Jeff. You can see that, the scheduled hours in Thorsby are there in the chart, the in-service hours, and then what happened, during that time, so, Darren has put in 1,080 hours, his in-service hours are 910, so, his other hours in service will be 180, so a lot of times that's calls over and above his shift, he's answered, and it talks, the charts talk about his yearly service distribution of 365 days, so puts him in service, out of service, talks to you about his public engagement, his liaison with the RCMP, remedial orders, which we're on sidewalks right now, but in the summer it's grass, but he's busy with sidewalks now. Any traffic stops and bylaw crosswalks. Tonight he was chasing dogs at the same time he was looking at a towed vehicle, and a bunch of guys come by in a truck. Have you seen 3 dogs? And he said they went that way, and then he went back to the vehicle he had to tow, so he said it was always kind of fun. We're, in our bylaws right now, we're getting about 94% voluntary compliance. So he just has to go there and go, hi, you know what's going on, kind of thing. And people are pretty happy with him. He was with a bunch of kids today, and they were asking a ton of questions, and he was taking time with them. So we're very happy with CPO Setchik's performance here, in all honesty. He had a quieter month in December for sure, but We sent him to commercial vehicle training, weights and dimensions, because we have a lot of trucks coming through town. That's a 5-day intensive course. Do I understand it? Yes, I had to take it a long time ago, and I have to understand it through our company with commercial vehicle audits. And he said, holy smokes, that's crazy, but he's gonna be doing some joint force operations with commercial vehicles, so he can get on it and learn. And it's mostly for overloaded vehicles, right? Or they're too high, too heavily overloaded.
I know there's lots of exceptions, but I know like farm equipment and stuff often is very, very, like, has its own rules or lack thereof, but I know like how does all like cattle auction traffic and stuff apply there?
Cattle auction, like most of the time your cattle liners aren't overloaded anyway, and it's really hard to stick them on portable scales because cattle don't sit still, but for the most part.
They just fall under kind of just general commercial traffic?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's right. And there are exceptions for rural, like your grain haulers, there's exceptions.
Yeah, I guess that'd be like, there's like a whole other like ball of wax or something. It's like a mess trying to argue stuff because it's, you know, as soon as you put a farm plate on it, I don't know, it seems like one of those things that could be a big problem, but.
It can be. So far I've been kind of watching. Sometimes I'll just make my routes around. I'll watch, especially on auction market day on Monday, I'm watching all the liners and that come in, and most of them don't have if they're Tridem liners, in other words, 3 axles, a lot of them don't have their 3rd axle down. So, and I know they're loaded, so that's a good thing. You can tell by the sidewalls on a truck, right? I mean, what they're doing. A lot of times it's going to be the Manitulins, the Highway 7s, the all those out-of-towners that are coming in, right? That we could take a look at. Dan also now has, because he took the course, access to the Travis permit system within the provincial government. So that's your high load, wide load vehicles. So they have to be certainly permitted if they're running rigs or whatever all through here, because this is a highway, of course, right? So there has to be that enforcement, because someone will try and sneak through. So he's on top of that.
They probably actively try to go this way if they don't have permits and such, because it's less policed.
Yes, and if they have a Travis permit and they're in violation of it, they could stand to lose their opportunity to have Travis permits, plus heavy fine, really heavy fine. I could tell you probably 35 years ago when I was doing this, the biggest fine I wrote was $10,000 on a scale. $10,000 overloaded worth of bucks. So it wasn't a happy evening. It was summer, there was mosquitoes, and it wasn't a fun day for him. So Dan's doing a really good job. Part of what we want is we want enforcement, we want voluntary compliance, and we want education. And that's what's happening here. Our enforcement is when necessary, when it's required. In other words, you're trying to do your best for the person, they won't cooperate. That's the enforcement issue. But for the most part, it's a lot of communication and a lot of discussion, a lot of working with the kids. Dan will be in the elementary school now doing traffic safety. He's at the crosswalk when he's here. So this is quite busy. He's very industrious. He looks for work. He's busy patrolling, and he said people are starting to wave at me finally. So that's a good thing. So I'll stand down from his report. Andrew?
I just wanted to point out with Dale being certified for doing heavy traffic infractions as well. With the larger trucks that come through town, when he does an inspection on them, like if he does pull them over for an inspection and they pass, that gets documented on their health and their safety fitness certificate.
Carrier profile.
The carrier profile, so it's actually a benefit to them as well when they pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah, well, that's a good motivation for them not be difficult when they're, you know, I mean, time is money and why are you bothering me, but.
Exactly, the more compliance that they have and passing of these inspections, the lower their insurance it gets for them.
Oh, interesting.
Their carrier profile is about 22 pages, and on each thing it talks about, you have a section on collisions, was it your fault, did you report, has a section on the CBSA inspections at a scale, whether you were let go with a warning, if you had infractions, if you were put out of service. If you're put out of service too many times, what happens is transportation sends you a letter and says, hello, you're scheduled for an audit within 20 days. Like they don't give you any time, they're fed up because if you're out of service all the time. So they're watching the profiles, and inside of the transportation, those computers ding with those compliance officers if there's profiles, carrier profiles that are out of whack, and they're looking for clean carrier profiles. That's their goal right now. They can't help it if you hit a moose or something, that's different, but if you keep hitting things, or you're keeping in the ditch, or you're laying your truck down all the time on the highway, because it's a dry pavement, you just felt like it needed a rest, transportation doesn't care for stuff like that. So Dan now has the ability now and the authority through this course that if he suspects there's an overload, he can compel them legally to the nearest scale, which would be Leduc scale or Stony, and they have to comply. He escorts them and they have to comply. So that's a good thing too. So we can catch a lot of overload. Because like I say, it's our van drivers and stuff that come through here that I think a lot of them are overloaded. So
I'm sure they don't even think about it. I'm sure they don't even check.
No, they don't. They don't.
It's the last thing on their mind, I'm sure, for any of those courier services.
Totally. And another thing, Councilor Gilbert, is I'm watching lots of loads come in here where they're not strapped down or tied appropriately. Because as soon as you load a load within 122 kilometers, 222 kilometers, you have to stop and recheck your load straps, whether the straps change or whatever they are, and then you have to stop X amount of kilometers every time after
Yeah,
that.
that's what we adjust.
Exactly. And they're flapping in the wind and they're all over the place. We need to address that because they've had too many people die at these improper unstrapped loads. I knew a RCMP inspector probably 10 years ago. I'd worked with them and stuff on different things, and he was in Calgary, lived in Calgary. He and his wife were sitting in their truck beside a load of propane tanks, and the straps gave way on top of them, and they died. And so, we're not playing around with insecure loads or loose loads. So we will give you lots of updates. We'll see how she goes. There's going to be some joint force operations out here with respect to it, and more training for Dayon, because if you don't use it, you lose it. It's so complex that you lose it. So anyway, we're excited about that.
Donna, can you remind me if there are fines, do they go to the province or does it get distributed back to the municipality?
What happens if there's a fine? The province takes 15% for a fine victim surcharge, and Muni gets the rest. Now, some of these fines can be pretty big. Commercial vehicle fines are way different than highway traffic safety act fines because they're under the commercial vehicle regulation. So their fines can be huge. So if you write a $10,000 ticket or an $8,000 ticket, one was just written the other day for $55,000. It was a mess. So our percentage would be nice. Yeah.
And so are the municipal fines helping to offset his wages?
No, there hasn't been that many, and he's not here to generate money. He's not a money generator. He's not a revenue generator. Sultan frowns on that. They're trying to get these municipalities out of.
To abide.
Yeah, and fines that he writes, yes, comes back to us for sure. Like he's, let me see there, let me get the traffic stops here. He's been, he's roughly doing 1 to 2 traffic stops every time he's out here, which one always results in a fine, the rest results in education. So yeah, that percentage comes back to us as well, 100%. If we don't have to go to court over bylaw cases, quite frankly, a happy little CAO, because they're a nightmare. That costs us more, as a matter of fact. So voluntary compliance is a good thing.
Yeah, issuing fines is actually still costing more money if they don't just agree to pay it.
That's correct.
If someone a $200 fine, I have to spend 2 days, a day preparing and a day in court. That's an expensive $200.
It is, and on a bylaw case, sometimes you have to hire a prosecutor or a lawyer, right, to serve as your agent. Yeah, great question. I appreciate it.
Is he on call on weekends? Is he on call on weekends?
No. They have specified shifts.
I just wondered. Yeah. About the kids riding quads, towing sleds and
That's been a
everything.
huge thing lately. I don't know what happened.
I myself, I had one last night, they were going up and down my street.
He works weekends, yeah. I just don't let it out this
Oh,
weekend.
you got off-road stuff, they're always riding out there from.
What's your address?
In my,
48th Street.
in our area.
52nd.
Oh, okay, and they're going over there
They're
too?
pulling them behind the ATVs on sleds, and the kids have no helmets on.
Well, that's something we're gonna have to address, because I think he knows who they are. He's talked to them before.
I talked to them personally and they didn't like it too much.
No, I
Not the kids, I mean the parents.
Yeah, the parents have to set them up.
And I mean, the sad part is
It's
that
4 in the morning.
none of them have license plates, so they're not registered.
No, they're riding off-roads just around the neighborhood there.
Yeah.
In the middle of the
In the
street.
fall or whatever, you
Looks
know.
like fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that I'll mention it to him next time I see him there. Donna can talk to him maybe, and, yeah, I think he's aware of it, and it's, like you say, I mean, it's after hours. Last night was 9:30. The guy went to my place last night.
They woke me up.
Yeah, I know.
Are you kidding me? 4
I
in the
know.
morning? Like, why do you need to be out doing this? Like, I don't understand.
And I stopped the guy too, and it was a young guy and a young girl, and they kind of looked at me, and I said, you can't be driving up and down these streets, and says, okay, noted, the guy said, away he went.
I'll request a joint force operation here, we'll work on it.
Yeah, it seems to be getting more and more, so,
Awesome, appreciate that, thank you.
yeah. Anything else on the PSUF? No? Andrew, Public Works?
All right, for the month of December, we had a water main break up 50 not this last week, prior. We had demolition of the old water treatment plant. We did the trenching for the line, for the new fiber optics line to the south res. Just more for the fact that it was gonna end up, if I had TELUS do it, it was gonna be a 3-month process.
You just want to play with your new toys.
That's true. It's a fun toy to play.
Very true.
Met with Flow Point, about the new bulk water station, and it was 2 days later, it was being delivered to us, so, we now have that. Met with some of our vendors before Christmas. They always like to stop by before Christmas and do the season's greetings thing, and then I attended the staff Christmas party, and other than that, I had a fantastic Christmas with my kids.
Have you guys found somebody to install those, meters yet, or for the ones that don't, you can't turn off, the water meters?
So it's not the ones that we can't turn off, it's what the issue that we're having is that, there's so many things that are soldered.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, yeah,
We haven't found
somebody to do that.
we haven't set somebody else with it yet, but we do have, quite a few people in the local area that are.
You have a long, the list is growing.
Yeah, I think we're at about 23 right now that we need a plumber for.
Why don't you guys just go get a Pro Press or something?
Sorry, what?
You can get like Pro Press or something, just like not a crappy homeowner version of Shark Bites, or just a compression fitting that's just a tool that compresses it on, and then you guys cut it and put your meter in and just press your fitting on.
Didn't even know about it.
$500.
Yeah, they're expensive fittings, like they're not cheap fittings, but you
Yeah.
need 1, maybe 2 per meter, and then you don't have to hire anyone, you can do it as you want.
Well, we gotta look at what the liability portion on our end is.
Fair enough.
That's the part that I'm concerned about. We're not-
Which I get why you guys don't want to go try soldering some little annoying cabinet
I don't-
somewhere or whatever, but like,
I don't mind doing it.
no, but like,
But-
there's liability and
Yeah.
it's gonna leak or whatever, but I don't think it's, there's options.
Yeah.
I think what we wanna do is get all the, as much meters as we can, then get a sense of who needs the plumber. Then we can negotiate a bulk price
Yeah.
with the plumber, so that it's not, oh, I'll do it for 250 meter, no, we won't. You're getting a ton of meters here, so we'll probably put out an RFP for it.
All right, just a question, thanks. I know I'm one of the guys.
We know.
All right, any other questions for Andrew? No? All right, Kelly, Parks and Rec.
Hold on, I'll stand because I can't see anybody. But, okay, so for the month of December, we had active memberships, we had 155, which I think is actually the highest we've ever had. For the month, 21 of those were Arctic Spa employees. Programs in December, Sam ran Gaga Ball, until ceiling tiles fell, or almost fell. Lego Club, we had some family skates, and they did a kickoff to Christmas party on the 20th. She did have some other stuff planned, like more paid programs and field trips, but we just didn't have the interest. I don't know if it was the time of year, the economy, everything kind of coupled with it. So on December 17th, I met with Scott Builders to start the costing, or second costing for a facility upgrade. Also submitted the grant application for the Canada Summer Jobs Grant just before Christmas. I think we're going for 3 public works and 1 recreation programmer.
Yep.
December 18th, Star Trek was out and they did our mid-season check on the ice plant. No news is good news. I haven't heard anything back yet, so we're good there. And then over the Christmas break, John and Carson, we had some gaps in our ice bookings and stuff. So John and Carson actually stripped the field house floors and then resealed them. They also painted pickleball lines on them, which was like a big deal for our pickleballers. So no longer, we used to have tape on there. So yeah, it turned out really great. Looks really good. They also did the trench coat dressing room. Got that sealed as well because it gets worn down pretty good. And then I just included some 2024 stats, just some FYI kind of information like that our software pulls or tracks. So a total membership sold were 1461, and 78% of those are renewals. So like we have a really good solid base of members that are constantly renewing, which just keeps it nice and steady. And then the facility attendance. So when I do a booking in ActiveNet, you know, if I'm booking a hockey team in for a practice, like you always put in a count of what it is. So if I'm booking a practice, I'll put 20. You know, that accounts for just the players. If it's a game, I do 40. Birthday parties, any type of meeting, like you're always putting a number. So overall, those numbers for 2024, we had 45,000 people through the building. And my numbers are shy, like very shy, because with hockey, I mean, 21,000 of those is the arena. We could easily triple that because there isn't one game or practice that a parent isn't coming with. You know, the little guys in the games, you're getting 3 to 5 spectators per person. So, you know, so I just thought it was kind of a nice FYI. The rec grounds, that number might seem high, 7,200, but that includes our baseball team. And again, no spectators. And baseball and soccer run 5 days a week in town. I pulled the numbers to see what 2023 was, and it was 29,000. So without spectators. So we're getting busier, and I noticed a huge difference actually. This January has been, it's just bookings. Like I literally could just sit on my computer 8 hours a day doing bookings. It's been absolutely crazy. So, you know, hopefully we keep trending in that direction, but yeah. That's all. Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's gonna be great information for the grant we're gonna write this spring.
Yeah.
This is tremendous.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of information in ActiveNet. Yeah.
Yeah, the more we can give them in a like a separate section.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Good job.
That's good. Thank you. Okay, the last one there for the FCSS.
Yes, today we collected all the little Christmas trees that were around the town that people could put money in. It was close to $500. We rolled it all today. That was pretty awesome. The Lions Club with their lights close to, I don't know what they got over New Year's, but at their last reporting in, it was close to 800. So that's pretty darn generous of Thorsby residents to put stuff in those little Christmas trees. It's pretty amazing. And it's funny, you know, because you go to shake them and you think, oh, there's nothing in here, and then you open up the lid and there's paper bills, or there's bills, right? So hamper deliveries happened on the 18th of December, 24 hampers, 6 rural and 18 urban, and 38 adults, 23 youth, 4 babies, and 63 individuals. So that was pretty nice. We're just about ready to consolidate some things for Councillor Corey and his building. Once you get your utility bills and stuff, our insurance company charged with $38 for insurance for us, and then they waived the $38. So what the heck, right? That was good. And then a lot of information referral calls are always in January. and 8 walk-ins and appointments booked or 12. So we're just watching to see what's kind of happening here with how we move around town, how we do more engagement, and we're just kind of retooling and doing a little bit. So far, it's good. We're looking for an income tax person, so put your feelers out for volunteer income tax for the seniors.
Has the previous person been contacted?
She has retired. Marty, I think it's Marty, right?
Marcia.
Marcia, that's it, thank you. If she's retired, she wants to go where it's warm. I can't blame her. So if you have anybody you know that would like to volunteer that has that experience, the county kind of wanted our staff to do it. I won't allow that. I don't want our staff to be, Michaela to be doing income tax. Yeah, you don't want that because Michaela has no experience. And granted, it's simple plug in the numbers, but it may not be simple plug in the numbers. And Marcia was awesome at it. She had lots of experience, but she just wanted to retire. So we want to get her a little retirement something because she's done exemplary service. And we may not get her this winter, but we'll get her in the spring. We'll ask her to come into council and receive it because she did great work. And it's a lot of work to do it. So that's where we're at right now with FCSS.
All right, thank you. Any questions on that? No? Okay. Motion to accept the CA reports for information.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, CFO report. Cindy Van Leest, if you would, please.
Hello. In the month of December, I finalized the budget. I worked with tax service regarding the tax sales, and like Donna said, there was 2 that were supposed to go out for sale, but one has who we thought was deceased turned out not to be. So these people have really, like, I couldn't have done what they've done. So, and all their fees get added to the tax roll, so it doesn't cost the municipality anything. Anyway, so their representative has worked out a tax arrangement to pay off the taxes. So that means only one is going up for sale now. So met with Leduc County Fire Service regarding the service agreement, met with the benefits provider for annual update, and benefits went up very minimally this year, so that's good. Weekly staff meetings, process payables, process payroll, and there were no shutoffs in the month of December, despite some protests that we even sent out notices. Outstanding utilities, 79,891.23, of which 6,100 is subject to shutoff. That's a little bit higher than normal, but it was Christmas and I think people opted to buy presents. Outstanding taxes, 299,868.80, of which 59,000 is up for tax recovery and 53 is from 2023 tax notices. Our operating accounts, there's 762,000 in the operating compared to 680 last year. Our savings accounts just over 1.1 million as compared to 1.4 last year. And our line of credit is at 0.
Thank you. Questions for Cindy? Anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
It's not really a question to Cindy, but it's a question about, or not a question, a comment about Cindy. As she spoke, I realized that somebody had said to me they were at one of our previous meetings and they didn't realize that Cindy was present in the room because they're not seeing her face. And then all of a sudden they heard a voice and they didn't know where it was coming from or who she was. And so I don't know if you reminded people in the forum that she's present or if we need to do that. But yeah, they were kind of caught off guard of who is this voice that was all of a sudden coming from above. So.
Go on.
Please don't give me that much. I'm not God, not even close.
So I don't know if we need to remind people that Cindy's in the room or how we can go about that, but.
I don't know, Jesse, is there any way that you can share the screen, like have my face and the count? Like...
I haven't seen it so far. The only thing is it would probably cut off some portion of the screen, so if I can figure it out, I gotta figure out which portion of the screen I want to cut off.
Because on my screen right now, I have you, me, and I can see what you're showing. So
Yeah, and that would work if I didn't need to show the rest of the room the agenda, is the only thing.
Yeah, I think this is more beneficial the way you're showing it.
Yeah, we could do like just at the beginning of every meeting, every cow, like, hey, just a reminder to the public that Cindy is on this, if we wanted to do that.
Well, I guess
Cindy's
like,
in her shed.
I don't think it's concerned. I really, like, I understand if somebody was like, oh, I had no idea, and I was surprised, and that's a fair comment, but at the same time,
For the most
is it
part,
really
it's
worth addressing it? Is it really like, do we need to, I don't know how much effort we need to put into.
well, if there's new people in the room, that,
Sure.
just to remind them that Cindy is present.
Takes 2 minutes, Cory.
Sure, I get it, but I don't know how much effort we want to spend on revamping anything or making too much of a.
Not revamping, just a mention.
Andrew?
I was thinking we could just get a little segue with a screen, you can roll up to her desk.
Get rid of the cardboard.
You can put a sticky note on the monitor that says Cindy is here.
Yeah.
When I saw the new process, Cindy, with the tips program.
Yeah.
Because I called Cheryl a few times because I got my notice and I'm like, why is this already? And because of course I do mine differently than most people, so mine doubled in price for the next few months, right? But then when I asked her, mine is, she said, yours is the anomaly. Most people didn't go up. I'm like, okay, good.
Oh
So I
yeah,
was
no,
like,
most people, so the reason we did this, Shelley, was because there was lots of people, because of that jump when we went back, like when we upped the taxes back to the normal, people's tips were going like way up in May, and then the next May they were going way down because they'd overpaid, and then they were going way up the next year, and every time they'd go way up, everybody would come to my office. When they'd go way down, everybody would celebrate. But then they were like, it just wasn't even. So I decided we were recalculating in January because then everybody's even again. And now their taxes, like I looked at yours because of course Cheryl let me know that you called, and I looked at yours, and like where it is now, it might go up not even $10.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. You guys,
like
yeah,
now
you
you're
said you
even,
guys,
but because you came and put a big lump sum on your taxes, that made it go way down.
yeah. And now you
So-
guys are basing January based on last year's full amount, which makes
Yeah.
sense as to what my amount is. But I was worried, my worry was like, oh my God, did this happen
no.
to everybody? I'm like, nobody knows this and they have to pay double the amount by the end of the month. And so I was freaking out. But then when Cheryl said, you're not normal, I'm like, well, I know that. Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Because I was doing an email and I was like, gonna talk to you. And then she's like, no, most people's went down. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
good.
most people, they either like stayed relatively the same or it went down. So,
Little bit.
and now everybody should be on an even keel and they won't get these big swings in their tips, except for you. So yeah,
That's
if you
fine.
keep putting money on, this will happen like all the time.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Cindy, I have a question. So I see Edmonton, they sent out their, home assessments for 2025. Any idea when the ones for Thorsby are gonna go?
Well, we got the residential one, like we got the ones from the assessor. We're waiting for the ones from the province.
I see.
So as soon as we get those, then we'll send them out. They should be here like soon, I'm thinking.
They must, for Edmonton, they must have given preferential.
No, they have their own assessors.
Oh, I see. That way.
Them in Calgary have a charter, right? Them in Calgary do things different than the rest of us.
So they won't have to wait for the
They
process.
have the big bucks.
Okay.
No,
Well,
and
okay.
bigger municipalities will have their own assessors too. Like I think County of Parkland has their own assessor.
That's just for the residential stuff. Their provincial stuff still has to come from the province, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Calgary and Edmonton are the only two that assess their own provincial stuff, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know how they work, but yeah, we're just waiting, and then we send that, and then he sends us another report back with everything, and then we can put all the assessments in the system and send out the stuff. So
Makes sense. All right, any other questions for Cindy? Thank you very much. Motion to accept the CFO report for information. All in favor? It's carried. All right, gallery, you gentlemen, there, have anything, questions? question, comment?
Just, you guys probably addressed it at a different meeting, but, water sales, pipeline and all that Enoch was supposed to be working on with us, buying water from us, is that moving ahead, or?
So who are you talking about for buying?
Like the Enoch Reserve or
Oh,
River Cree, them?
well, this is a lot of stuff that we're talking about in camera. Unfortunately, there's legal matters in there, and we are working. Corey, go ahead.
There's lots of rumors, and I've heard lots of stuff. Some of it's crazy, some of it's not, but either way, it's all in camera. And we are working on things, but no, none of it's ready for public disclosure at this point.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We've been actually working lots
I
on it.
just wondered if it was kind of dead.
No,
No,
very less.
not by any stretch of the imagination.
Good enough.
That's all I can say.
I'll wait.
Yeah, you know what? You probably won't have to wait too much longer. That's all I can say. So we're getting fairly
I
close.
just said before, in my lifetime, we did something.
It'll definitely be in your lifetime.
Good enough.
Yeah, thank you for that. Anything else? Mr. Kevin back there.
No, not this week, I'm happy camper. Surprise.
All right, well, I will take a 10-minute recess, get back in here in 10-15 minutes, and we'll go on the camera, and well, there's that.
Actually, I do have one thing to say.
Okay.
So, a couple of days ago, my wife and I took a review over at the Arctic Spa. Kelly took us through there. You guys have a
Nice.
bloody gold mine there.
It's a nice facility.
Well, I wish it was a gold mine. It's
Well,
called-
but
But it is, as far as, you're right, what's there.
it's the heart of our
So you
community.
like seeing what's on the outside.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, none of the arenas anywhere in the county have that other than maybe the rec center there, but I mean, yeah, there's lots there.
It's beautiful.
Lots there.
So one of my issues with that is maybe current council and previous council can set some time aside for better advertisement. Like, I mean, like, yeah, it's great to come into council and talk, and you see a
We
sign out front,
used to
but-
have in the concession, we have a lady made these fantastic pie. Karen Klatt, and she, did a lot of advertising. People came for the pie. Yes, exactly. So it's good pie. But thank you for that, yes.
No, I was really, really impressed and blown away just for what you have
Yeah.
there. And you don't hear too much about it, like I'm new to the community and I don't hear too much about it. You know, so there's some way to,
Well, like I say, it's, I mean, it's, the county's a big part of it, and unfortunately, I mean, I don't think there's a complex in Alberta that makes money, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. You have to, but it is a good facility. Yeah, there's lots there. Absolutely.
I was thinking we need to revive the bowling league again, whether it's kids level or adult level,
It's a lot of work. If you're doing YBC, it's a lot of work.
but it used to be a real thing, and it was really good.
We have a hard time getting volunteers. That's a big problem too, right?
They might be out there.
Yeah. Been tried.
From what I've heard of, the two things that definitely need to be revived is the cheese factory and the pies.
That's further, they already have that waste storage bylaw still, so.
I met 3 people today, and that's the first thing that they said to me, oh, I remember when the cheese factory was out there. And
Oh, that is a long time ago.
Is that where Everett?
Yeah,
Our pies almost
Well,
settled.
half the farmers around here worked at it. It was good
Before my
time.
time. Before my time, I think.
All right, well, thanks for that. Well, we'll take a quick rest, 8:09, 8:10, make a recess, come back 10 to 15 minutes. There we go. Thank you.